Okay, so we are picking up from Module 4, Lesson 3. We're working on the exercises at this point. This is Part 2. And so we are going to be looking. There are 750 students in the 7th grade class and 625 in the 8th grade class at Kent Middle School. So I like to come over here and just say 7th is going to be 750. 8th is going to be 625. And we're looking for what percent. So we're looking for the percent. This word is tells me that the 7th grade is my part of the 8th grade class. Of tells me that that's going to be the whole. So is the key word here. Of is the key word here. Okay, and so since we're to the exercises at this point, I'm just going to use the formula. So we have P percent and then whole, part, percent, whole. Our part is 750. Our percent is unknown and our whole is 625. So our equation, P is equal to percent times the whole. So 750 is equal to 625x. Go ahead and put it in the correct order. And so when I'm looking at this, before I even get started, I see that my part is less than my whole, which tells me that my answer is going to be over 100%. So divide both sides by 625. And so 750 divided by 625, 750 divided by 625 gives me 1.2. Okay, so we have 1.2 is equal to x, because 625 and 625 equals 1. Okay, and then we remember, we're looking for a percent, so we need to move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, which gives me 120% is our answer there. Okay. The principal will have to increase the number of 8th grade teachers next year if the 7th grade enrollment exceeds 110% of the current 8th grade enrollment. Will she need to increase the number of teachers? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so yes. Because the 7th grade enrollment is 120% of the 8th grade, which is 10% more than 110%. So we have that from Part A. Part A said 120%, and then we needed something if it was going to exceed 110, and obviously 120 exceeds 110. Okay, so let's go on to number 2. Kent Middle School, there are 104 students in the band and 80 students in the choir. What percent of the number of students in the choir is the number of students in the band? Okay, so 104 in band, 80 in choir. So band has 104, choir has 80. What percent of is going to be our whole? The number of choir students. So our choir students is going to be the whole. Is the number of the band students. So the band students is going to be our part. So let's write this out. P is our part, percent, and then whole Okay, so part is 104. Percent is what we're looking for, and the whole is going to be 80. Our equation, P is equal to percent times 100. So 104, we're just plugging it in, is equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the correct order there, 80x. Divide both sides by 80 to get our variable by itself. And so I have 104 divided by 80. 104 divided by 80, which is equal to 1.3. 1.3 is equal to 80 divided by 80 is 1x. Okay, and when I looked at that before, I saw my part was bigger than my whole, so it should be getting a number that is bigger than 100. So what do we need to do to this decimal because it's the percent we're looking for? That's right, we need to move that decimal 2 places to the right. 130%. Okay, so the number of students in band is 130% of the number of students in the choir. So, in other words, there are more students in the band than there are in choir. Okay. Okay, we're talking about that same middle school, and we're looking at their breakfast and their lunch cost. Breakfast is $1.25, and lunch is $3.75. So we have breakfast for $1.25, lunch $3.75. What percent of the cost of lunch is the cost of breakfast? Okay, so we got lots of ofs in here. Only one is though. So what percent of the cost of lunch? So of lunch, of is whole, so lunch is whole, is the cost of breakfast. So breakfast is the part. And again, what percent? Percent was our question. So we have P part, percent, whole. P is $1.25. Percent is X, and whole is $3.75. I won't use that dollar sign when I'm actually writing it out, but it is money. Okay, so equation, P is equal to the percent times the whole. P is $1.25 is equal to the percent, which we don't know, times $3.75. Correct order, divide both sides by $3.75. Okay, so 125 divided by 375. 125 divided by 375 equals 0.3, repeating on forever. 0.3, and it's money, so I'm going to put 2 3s. Repeating on forever is equal to x. I'm doing that because I know I have to move this decimal 2 places to the right, and I don't want to accidentally put 30%, forgetting about the repeating number. So 33%. So the cost of breakfast is 33% of the cost of lunch. Okay, and so lesson summary, visual models or arithmetic methods can be used to solve problems that compare quantities with percents. Equations can be used to solve percents. Problems using the basic equation, they have quantity equals percent times whole, and so quantity is meaning the exact same thing as we had, which was part. Okay, quantity in the new percent formula is the equivalent of part, which is what it says right here. Quantity is part. Okay, they are equivalent. Okay, go do number 1 on your problem set, all parts.